Cooking with Mama Dukes is another great one that you're going to want to check out for this holiday season, especially with Thanksgiving coming. We have any new episodes of Cooking with Mama Dukes besides the one that I was on where I used the microwave. Isn't that impressive? And we're trying to get 1,000 TikTok because for some reason she got a lifetime ban the very first day, and there was no way to figure out how to fix it. So aside from that strangeness, we are hopefully going to be filming some of the Thanksgiving prep for this year for our family. And if we can get those 1,000 followers and subscribers, I'll try to record the entire event, including all the cooking. But we have filmed some, I think it's several, I don't want to say it's 100 episodes, but I think maybe like 20 or 30 episodes already that you can check out in YouTube or on Facebook if you follow us there. Today we're going to be actually, I'm showing you how I create the AI images that I'm giving away for free this year. I'm giving away one image per person, per family for the holidays. And basically what it is you can send in a digital image that either you've taken or somebody else did into either the comments or a direct message if you want to be more private about it. And we send back in reply a single edited image that we use a little tiny bit of editing to clean up the image. I'm not going to go too crazy with that sort of thing. But using AI to put that particular image in a whole new perspective and light, maybe look like a story or maybe an idea that you have that you sent in the message is fine. There are limits, of course. If you check out the guidelines for Adobe software, you'll be able to see exactly what the rules are. And for the most part, I will not be doing anything obscene, crazy on purpose anyway. Adobe has some issues and kinks to work out with their Adobe, and I do mean kinks specifically because there's been a lot of weird stuff, especially if you've been following the past 2 to 3 shows that we've already created that are available on YouTube. The show doesn't have a particular name, so it just says Holiday AI Edits, and you'll see a computer screen, and further down the line you'll see stuff like this. Basically what we're doing is using the Sony to shoot photos for those AI edits. And all those AI edits I actually record while I'm doing that because it gives you such crazy different weird options, and a lot of them are really, really funny. And this isn't, I'm obviously going to find certain things funny that some people won't, but if you go back and check it out, let me know what you think in the comments below. It's been fun so far, and it's so steadily insane that I figured it's about time we shoot a show for it. But basically what I wanted to show people is exactly step by step how I even get to that process. And that whole show was just based on the editing, so I don't really get to teach people too much about what I'm doing. They just kind of get to see me as I'm doing it. So I figured we'll try to fill in some of that. And then later on today, we're actually going to be using the same camera and also the Samsung S21 or 22 Ultra, I forget which one it is, that we're using to film this. See, right there. And 8K fidelity is usually the go-to that I go for. However, you only have 24 frames per second, where you can use 30, 60, which is a little bit more applicable, and with 60 frames, you get better slow motion. So I normally don't use the 8K stuff too much, and you're not seeing that now, but you do see that in some of our videos, including the pet photography we're going to be doing later, like I was just talking about. We're taking pictures of Buster the dog, which you've seen in some past specials. Will just had a teaser trailer that you can see here in a little while. It gets uploaded. And we're going to be giving them a bath tonight, so you'll be able to take part in that weirdness. Three pigs taking a bath. Three male pigs. I don't know. It's got to be a fetish somewhere. So got to make sure the lens cap is off, and we got to make sure that the tripod, which you can see once I'm able to reverse this camera. Here we go. We're actually, and for people that don't speak English here, hello, how are you? I only speak a certain amount of languages, and we'll be reading in the comments below, and I'll actually be replying to all the comments this week, some point soon, I'm hoping. For those of you that I don't answer right away, bear with me. Things are pretty crazy, and if things get too busy, well, one thing you can trust is I'm never going to put an AI in the way of you and me, the connection we have. So the tripod, basically, what I try to do is pick a well-lit area. You kind of want to take away all the different things that could draw the attention of the AI. You kind of want to like I don't want to be here because then I got to kind of fill in those spots where the railing is, and I don't want to be. It's probably best to have it away from the body. So anything that you're holding, or maybe like a hat, something you're wearing, if you don't want that necessarily in the image, you might want to choose something else, something more plain and simple that goes against the background that you're using. Tripod, you want to kind of have level, which I've already leveled this out, and you want to have as wide an angle as possible to make sure to capture as much of your subject as possible, because if the first several prompts don't work for the AI that you're, basically it's a question that you're asking the AI and saying like, can you change the background of this guy, the wall, can you change that into like a magical scene for Christmas and or Kwanzaa, you know? We actually did that with the dog the other day. It was hilarious. I know nothing about Kwanzaa, but I barely know how to spell it. But we had some fun there. We're going to have more fun with this. But you want to have that level tripod, good lighting. This is kind of a tight area. There's some objects on the side. I kind of prefer we didn't have that, but we're kind of on limited space and time today. And basically what we're going to do is see if you can see the settings of this camera here. So make sure we got power on. And make sure that the tripod is locked into place with, let's see how far down you guys can see. Yeah, all right. So and these little courses that I'm teaching as I'm going, they will be available in a more professional setting. I'm gonna want to back this camera up just slightly. I'll take you with me. Hi, how are you? All right. Hope everybody out there is gonna involved with all of our craziness or not. And let's see if you can get right behind the camera. There you go. Okay, so you can see that screen's pretty bright right now. I'm just lowering the ISO, which actually stands for, I thought it was standing for like isometric, you know, some sort of like light absorption wording or something like that. It's actually, it's a standardization that they use in photography and camera building. So basically what we want to do is make sure that the viewfinder is unblocked, because with some newer cameras, it automatically will, unless of course you turn the option off, it'll transfer this screen over to that, so I won't be able to see what's going on. You want to make sure that your focus is locked in, which right now we're going to be using see how that blinked out like that? That's because I'm covering that eye hole. So you're going to want to make sure that the focus is tightened in. You can use a manual focus if you prefer, especially if you're going to be moving the camera. If you're going to be moving the camera, you're going to want to have an autofocus on, or you're going to want to reset the focus every time. If you're not moving the camera, it might be better to lock in that focus so that way you don't lose the subject that you're working with. And we're going to have a timer on here. There's a little light in the front of the camera that's going to be blinking, and that's going to allow me to run in front of this camera and see, I think it's within 10 seconds on this timer right now, how long it's going to take, where I'm going to fit in the frame, how I'm going to look. We'll use that first test shot to figure all those things out. And from there, I'll start doing a bunch of different poses. And keep in mind that, like, this is a fun thing with AI. You can literally do anything. So even if I were to just crop out my face, I could put my face on like a dinosaur's body, and I'm like running around, all kinds of weird ass shit. All right, here we go. We're gonna take a quick test photo here, and we're gonna do classic. Next time I'm gonna not pose as fast because that was hard to keep. That's also something to keep in mind when you're working with models, is you don't want to have them posing in uncomfortable ways or in an uncomfortable setting where they have to keep that pose for a long time. The camera can work much faster than a model usually can, and for much longer. So that being said, let's see what the test photo's like. All right, we're not bad here. The exposure on the last photos that we took for, I don't know if we recorded. Yeah, we ended up posting yesterday's short special on YouTube where I did a few AI edits. And some of those photos are posted where I have a Christmas sleigh with two gigantic guinea pigs that are totally not real. They're not Worcester and Wilhelm. They're dragging the sleigh, and I'm in the sky with elf pants on. That was actually just done yesterday, and that was only done within a few minutes. If I were to take like an hour per image, no matter what the mistake might be, I should be able to fix it. However, when you just use AI, remember that hands, faces, a lot of these things can be very distorted. So it's important that you learn all the editing techniques ahead of time if you plan just for something permanent, because you might end up with something like Picasso and watercolor type looks. It's not cartoonish, which is kind of off-putting to me. So I wonder what people are using out there for realistic AI stuff. I've heard of Midjourney. Um, there are a few image creators, and there's even some audio software where people can copy voices or create their own, and even have an AI have a voice that's being used to speak to somebody or whatever. So there's a lot of it's literally a whole new wide open world. I was actually watching a discussion last night about how some people may actually only converse with AI their entire lives at some point in the near future, and never a human being. And I'm like, yeah, if you're in space, maybe, but I don't know. There's a lot that goes into that. We discuss things like that on NFG podcast, which will have an official return this week. We're still looking for people to interview, however. So if anyone's interested in that, please let us know. But anyway, so we've got all the key notions of what we want here: good exposure, good angle. I can do multiple poses, like for instance. Let's do a fun one. Let's do it. I also have a double chin. I'm trying to keep that in mind, and this is the fun thing, is this is totally inclusive, because you could be a Job of the Hut type mask, and we can take your face and head, we can fix that up like Kim Kardashian. And you put a model body, you can put a horse body and be a centaur and stuff, and run around like Lady and Step Brothers in that movie. Sick movie, but that's actually another fun holiday movie to watch. But all right, so what else can we touch on here? Sometimes people get a little bit caught up in, and I'll see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so people get kind of caught up in these numbers here, and really, they do have an importance when you're doing really specific things. For instance, like, let's see here. We got an f3.5 right now. So I'll show you what they all are and kind of what they do. You have the frame rate here, which is 1/160th of a second, which you would think is pretty quick. However, the hand and any other part of a body at all, whether it be animals or humans, moves far faster than. And once you start going over 1/100th of a second, you start to get what I would term as light drag. So you end up with something like this. Let's see if we can bring it to 1/25th. We'll drop down the ISO, because every time you bring your exposure time upwards, and because of that, the light that it's capturing is going to be painted onto that lens, especially the longer you take, the longer that it's like timing a brush stroke. You leave a brush on a paper and then just go. You're going to have a little bit of paint, but if you leave it there for a long time and just go, ooh, you're going to end up with way more paint soaking into the paper and end up getting a lighter stroke. Similar idea. So we'll take a quick picture like that. And I'll just do some basic, like regular, like looking around type movements. And what you're going to see, this may not be long enough, but it might just be. So even that's actually not bad. Let's really up the ante, shall we? You can also bring the focus down a little bit. Rather the f-stop number, that'll close your aperture, which is basically the hole that your camera looks through. And basically, I'm going to take the picture. This is about a half a second, almost. And you saw how crisp that terminology would be. Algorithms itself that they have in the camera to mitigate a lot of that movement, motion, at least until you're actually intentionally creating it. Okay, so now you got the hands to create out of camera. When you have an image that's totally crisp, of course, it is possible now with AI, just like anything is. But you know, this is the thing that's been stressing out a lot of people that work in industries of image creation, video, even now, because they can use AI to make a photo into video, which they've been doing with historical photos, which is really cool. But anyway, so you have this number here that I'm tweaking is turning orange right now. That's your aperture. And I'm adjusting a button in the front of the camera. The fun thing about using higher level cameras is they literally have buttons and knobs and stuff all over the place. For some people, that can be a little bit daunting at first, but the fact that you can still use those things to control an image so well, it really allows you to do things that if you were to try to do it in studio would take forever, or you can use it to do things like specialized astrophotography, space photography, or just create special image types like what you saw before you, and then edit different things for different purposes. Normally, I try to stay as open as possible. I'm trying to get a detailed image, and by open, I mean if I go higher up in numbers, that actually means that the hole is closing on the camera's front side, and that's right where the lens would be. And when I do a smaller number for the F number, you end up with a wider open aperture. You get more light, and you're allowing that detail to come in, especially with those shorter frame rates or exposures. If you're using the camera to shoot video, which shoots 4K high definition, high fidelity video, that would be a frame rate. But you can go, I believe, all the way to like 1/8,000th of a second. Very limited use there, but once you get to like, I think it's like 1/2000th to 1/800th of a second, and you can dawdle with that a little bit. That's usually for like wildlife photography, sports, things like that. But now you also have global shutter systems that press a button and is literally taking a video that you can then extrapolate from afterwards, and it's not like, I don't even know if there's like a definitive frame rate. I'm sure they mathematically figured it out, but it's like something insane where you're literally just, you can capture images at any time at any fidelity that you'd require. Of course, at the maximum spec that the camera can work at. I also have, I forget exactly what the MM specifically stands for here, but basically what that'll do is, actually, it doesn't even work on the setting I have it on right now, which is manual. So what the hell is that? Might actually be the depth of field. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll actually get back to you in the comments with that, or in the next video. ISO button, readout is right here, and then you have your, I might have forget the term for this too. This is kind of why I don't do lives for explanation videos. This is something I plan on doing quick, but this will tell you what your colors for your picture are doing. If you can comprehend how exactly it should look in the first place for the type of photo that you're creating. I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's just like anything else. If you're using paint to paint something, or crayons or anything like that, if you're not used to using a particular color and how it looks with other colors, then of course the more you get used to how it's going to look, and the more you'll know how to relate that to the rest of your image creation. So we'll be right back with the rest of this experience, so that way you can see exactly how I go through this process. We're going to take these couple of photos, take a few more, and I'll record that in a separate video, and we'll show how we edit the process, and then we'll show you how to create the video version of us editing those things. And then we can talk about how you can maximize your use. Like you can create a whole bunch of different types of merch for channels and businesses. There's a lot of different things that you can do when you can create your own business. So thanks for watching so far. We'll be right back with more. That's cool. Am I finding some sort of weird effect by doing that? There are a lot of filters and stuff that I actually really don't even get time to use on. I actually don't get too much time to use these fun filters that they have on things like Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook. I think even's using some now, and a lot of them are even starting to use generative AI to create images. Since that's the case, we'll be slowly going through some of that as well over the course of the next few weeks. And we'll be giving away those free digital images and edits all the way till the end of the year, this year, 2024. And today, I believe, is November 20th. So that's a lot of time. That's a lot of free images if people start sharing the show. Especially if we get to those 1,000 subscribers, either here or on any of the Cooking with Mama Dukes shows, so we can start shooting some of that as well. We need viewers. We need sponsorship if there's some of that available out there. We're working with commercial deals for any local businesses that we research rigorously before we decide to share them to the general masses. So I know that you guys are getting good stuff. And of course, for Fucksgiving this year, we're sharing a whole bunch of different fundraisers that we're indirectly working with this year, but we're not working with them yet. We need like 1,000 subscribers or more in order to be able to make these things financially feasible for companies and even fundraisers that they don't take the money in themselves to pay themselves. I think is how technically a nonprofit works. Or I think maybe the company itself doesn't profit per se, but the people that work under it still get paid. It'd be really interesting to see how all of that actually works and to comprehend it completely and explain it to people. But places like Truckee Supermarkets, Angels Anonymous, these are places that you'll be able to donate things like food, jackets, even toys for tots. I think they're doing a version of that where you can drop off toys at the store. You can go to the store, buy the food, and donate it there. It's all very convenient. It's all available at the front of the store, and if you can't see it right away, just ask an employee. Let them know that we sent you, or leave a little note, just so that way everybody can understand exactly what it is that we're trying to do, and that maybe next year we can do it a little bit better and help even more people. Fucksgiving is the one time a year where we really focus on all this fundraising stuff, and the rest of the year we really don't have enough funding to run almost all the things that we're doing. I fund everything myself. I try to focus mainly on building the business, building shows, and then once a month we do fundraisers and stuff. And we'd like to have the fans choose what fundraisers we work with. St. Jude is another one that I really like to work with, but they're not people usually connected to us in any way, shape, or form. Right now, we're not advertising ourselves. And if you're in the Fall River, Massachusetts area or anywhere nearby in the Bristol County and you're interested in anything that we do, from drone flights, photography, the video, make sure to hit us up in the comments below or direct messages. Feel free to contact us. We're also going to be doing a re-release of our main website that we use for a lot of these experiences, so that way we can kind of cut out all the apps that are unfortunately doing a lot of weird backhanded things like shadow banning, algorithm dropping, making it basically impossible for people that even subscribe to us to watch our show unless they come directly to our pages. So we're in the midst of fixing that, and the website still has one or two little kinks. So if people are trying to use a button on there, if they're unable to do something, or if they're just having a problem in general, let us know and we'll try to fix that within 24 hours. Thanks for watching. Have a happy holiday if we don't see you for the rest of the holiday, but we certainly hope you do, because there's a lot to do. JD usually be back in a little bit with some pet photography and AI stuff.